question that I'm going to do is question 65 from chapter 3.4. The question basically asks us to find the equation of a tangent line. There's two parts of the question, A and B. Question part A asks us to find the equation of the line tangent to the following curve at a given point x. And then part B is to use the graphing utensils to plot the curve and the tangent line. So the question that we're given is 65, which is y is equal to cosine x divided by 1 minus cosine x. And the point that we're given x is pi divided by 3. So the first point that we need, we need 3 points, three things to make finish part A, which is the slope at a given point, the x value and the y value at the. So we're already given the x value. So to find the y value, we just input the x value into the equation. So that's what we'll do first. And the equation that we get is y pi by 3, and we just input instead of x we put pi by 3. So to find cosine pi by 3, I already know it's half, right? For your guys' information, I just put the winding unit circle. And if you look at pi by 3, you can see it's at half. So we just input half into the equation instead of cosine pi by 3, and we get this half divided by 1 minus half. So if you solve it, it's half divided by half, which is 1. So the points that we have now is pi by 3 and 1. So the x value is pi by 3 and the y value is 1. Now all we have to do is find the derivative of the function that we're given, and input pi by 3, and we'll be given the slope at that exact point. So now we'll find the what's called the derivative of the function. So it's a quotient function. So what we need to do is the derivative of f times g of x minus f of x times the derivative of g of x divided by gx squared. So fx is cosine x. The derivative of fx is negative sine x, while g of x is 1 minus cosine x, and the derivative of g of x is sine x. So if we input all that in, it will look like this. No reflection right here. So derivative of fx, gx minus fx, derivative of gx, and gx squared. So if you open up the bracket, it will look like this. So if you guys can look carefully, you can see plus cosine x sine x, and negative cosine x sine x are the same thing. One is positive, one is negative. So you can easily cross out these two, and it'll make it much more simpler. So if we cross out these two, the function will look like this now. Derivative of the function is equal to negative sine x divided by 1 minus cosine x squared. So now all we have to do is input pi by 3 as an x value, and we'll find the slope at that exact point. So if you do that, it'll look like this. Now we need to find what sine pi by 3 is. If you look at the winding unit circle, you'll know that it's square root of 3 divided by 2. And we already know what cosine pi by 3 is, which is half. So if you input that in, this is what we get. Negative square root of 3 divided by 2 divided by 1 minus half squared. So now all we did is just minus 1 by 1 minus half, which gives us half again. And half squared gives us a quarter, 1 by 4. So now to make it much more simpler, I put 1 by 4 as 4 by 1 and times it instead of divided. It looks like this. Now the 2 can be crossed out with the 4, and it'll give us the 2 will just turn into 1, and the 4 will be 2. So if we do that, we'll get negative 2 square root of 3. So now we have the slope at that given point. This is the slope. Now we have all the 3 things that we need, as I said before: the slope, the x, and the y values. So if you put that in, this is the equation that we will need to solve the equation, the tangent line equation, which is y minus b is equal to m x minus a. So a is pi by 3, b is 1, m is negative 2 square root of 3. So if you input that in, it'll look like this. If you open up the brackets, x minus pi by 3, it'll look like this. So all we have to do now is move the negative 1 to this side, and we'll get our equation of our tangent line. This is our equation of the tangent line. We've got 2 constants right here. One is 2 pi square root of 3 divided by 3, and one is 1. Normally I would use a calculator to find out what this is, but now, as in this course we're not allowed to do that, so I kept them in separate areas. So this is basically our tangent equation. Now we've already figured out what part A is. Now we move on to part B. And part B is to find out using graphing utilities to find out to plot the curve and the tangent line. I've already opened up Desmos, which is a graphing utility, and I've already got the 2 equation: cosine x divided by 1 minus cosine x, which is the red line, and the blue line is the tangent line. So if you can see, the tangent line exactly cuts at 1.04, which is roughly pi divided by 3. If you can, right here, it is right here. 1.047, that's roughly pi by 3, and it's 1. It exactly cuts it at that. So that's basically our end of the video. Thank you very much.